Hey friend, Danica here. I really felt the need to reach out to you today with a message of hope and encouragement during this really challenging time, because let's face it, we could all use it, right? We're all navigating these challenging waters together. They're uncharted. And so I just wanted to share with you a few ideas that I had that I felt would really help you to learn how to become stronger. As some of you may know, I'm a licensed Ziglar Choose to Win coach. And I believe that our thinking and our attitude is so important now more than ever before. And that's why I asked Tom Ziglar, CEO of Zig Ziglar, to share with you today a few concepts that I really know will benefit you. So welcome, Tom. Thank you so much for taking the time to be present with us and for encouraging us here today.
Well, Danica, thank you so much. I'm just so grateful you're part of the Ziegler family. You know, maybe the world doesn't know, but when somebody comes on and they become a Choose to Win coach, we actually adopt them into the family. I mean, not legally, but it's spiritually we do, because you have a heart to change lives. And so I want to thank you for that, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity. And what I want to do with everybody is I want to share with you what we call the stronger mindset. And we're going through a tough time. I mean, it is crazy out there, and we don't know if it's going to be another week or another month or even longer before things kind of go back to the way they should be. But here's what I do know. When we have the right mindset, when we create the stronger mindset, we're going to be better because of what's happened. We're going to be more equipped to accomplish our goals, dreams, and purposes. So what I want to do real quick is I want to show you a little quick PowerPoint presentation that I put together that'll help just kind of track through this. You know, we need to have a victory mindset, especially during the toughest times. And the way we do that is we've got to understand, okay, what is the way we should view the world? And the word that I use for this is the stronger mindset. But as I was thinking about this, I was thinking about, you know, if my dad were here, my dad, Zig Ziglar, passed away about 7 years ago. And I was thinking, if he was here, what would he tell everybody? What is it that he would say? And then I started thinking, okay, what is a quote that he has that would be perfect for such a time as this? And here it is. Expect the best, prepare for the worst, maximize what comes. So what does that mean? Well, if we're going to have the stronger mindset, the first thing that we've got to do is we've got to go about our life and our business expecting the best, expecting that things are going to get better, expecting that the people we love are going to encourage us, and the business that we're in and the things that we do that bring meaning are only going to improve. We've got to bring that positive, courageous, hope-filled attitude to those around us. We've got to be, you know, what I call is standing tall in the furnace. We're in a furnace right now, but the reality is when we have a contagiously positive attitude, it lifts our own spirits. You know, Dad said this. He said that a positive attitude won't let you do anything, but it will let you do everything better than a negative attitude. So I want you to think about it. If you have an attitude of gratitude, a hope-filled attitude, one that expects the best, and it raises your spirits, then we know medically and scientifically what just happened is your immune system got a boost. And I have to tell you right now, probably more than ever in our history, a strong immune system is critical. Now, not only that, when you are positively contagious with your kids, your spouse, your brothers and sisters, your family, your friends, your coworkers, everybody, you lift their spirits as well. And when you lift their spirits, their immune system gets a boost. So what am I talking about? This approach, this stronger mindset, this expect the best, prepare for the worst, maximize what comes, it has no downside. You literally can help someone fight off a virus by this attitude. So that's great. So what do you mean? How can you expect the best and prepare for the worst? Well, it's real simple. I'll explain. What does that mean? It means, gosh, we got to wash our hands like 20 seconds at a time, 20 times a day. We got to practice physical distancing. We got to make sure that we have the supplies and the things we need to keep our family well fed and taken care of, because we really don't know. Is this going to be a week, 2 weeks? We don't know. We need to be thinking into the future. about our business and our family and the things we want to accomplish, and start thinking about what we can do right now to make the reality of what we want to accomplish more likely. See, that's preparing for the worst. So what's the benefit of preparing for the worst? We create margin in our lives. We're able to take care of our needs, our family's needs, and even our friends and coworkers when they call us up. You've probably already had it. You have probably already had a middle of the night phone call or a text saying, hey, you know, this thing's got me worried. Can you cheer me up? You see, when you prepare for the worst, you know you have it covered, and that gives you the margin and the ability to serve and love others the way you should. And finally, maximize what comes. What does that mean? Well, let's look at that for a second. Just think of your own family relationship, somebody you're close to who comes to you and they're struggling, right? So if you maximize what comes, it means that when you offer them hope and encouragement, you give them a little bit extra. You know, you're there for them. You're present in that moment. You're able to support them. What about this? What if a customer of yours calls you up and they've got this big giant pile of problems that have been caused by the situation? Maximizing what comes means you help them solve those problems, and then you do a little bit extra. You see, Zig Ziglar said that success is the maximum utilization of the abilities that God gave you. Gosh, for such a time as this, I believe you were prepared for this moment. You have gifts and talents and experience and abilities that you've got to maximize right now. And the way you maximize them is you make sure that you've prepared for the worst, that your home base is secure, you're taking care of your physical, your mental, and your spiritual life. You're eating right, you're getting plenty of sleep, you're putting the good stuff in your mind. That's preparing for the worst, right? Because you need those defenses. And then you go out with the countenance and you bring the atmosphere of gratitude and help and encouragement and hope. And those three things make a huge difference. But look at this, it goes even deeper than that. It goes all the way to your family. I love this quote. Legacy is intentionally preparing those you love to grow through life's most difficult challenges. Right now in your family members are looking at you and they're asking themselves, hey, is that a place of support? Is that somebody I can count on? You need to stand tall in the furnace. And I want to tell a story. Tom Brokaw said that the greatest generation America has ever had were the men and women who went and fought World War II. Think about it. These young men and women, they went to war and we were unprepared. We didn't have the resources. We didn't have experience. We were outgunned and they went into war. And eventually they overcame and they won. And then they came home. And the greatest economic boom in the history of civilization happened. Yeah, that was the greatest generation. Except for one thing, my friend Andy Andrews, an author and a speaker, he said this: they weren't the greatest generation. Their parents were. Think about this. The greatest generation was raised in the heart of the Great Depression. They grew up on farms and in small towns, and they had to work from sunup to sundown just to make ends meet. In fact, they really didn't have any stuff. All they had was each other. They had principles and values and a belief that together they could get it done. And you see, we're all in this together. So when you lead from the front with that expect the best, that stronger mindset, you're telling your family, you're teaching them literally how to grow through life's most difficult challenges. You see, the hard lessons that were learned in the Great Depression on the farm, making ends meet, that's what won the war. That's what created the greatest economic boom in the history of civilization. You know what I believe? I believe we're on the cusp, not just as a change in the US, but a global change. We could be seeing the creation of the greatest generation that's ever lived on this earth. And it depends on you and me, and all of us, and Danica, all of us getting together and believing in this. Now, when I look at this, part of this stronger mindset was inspired by a book. I love this book by Nassim Taleb. It's called Anti-Fragile. I love the idea of anti-fragile. My word for that is stronger, but here's how we explain it. It's hard to define what anti-fragile is, but what's the opposite? The opposite is fragile. Fragile means easily broken or destroyed, weak, something like a piece of glass that gets knocked on the floor and it shatters into 1,000 pieces, something that melts under the pressure. We don't want to be fragile. And yet when you ask people, okay, what's the opposite of fragile? You know what they'll tell you? they'll tell you words like robust and resilient and strong and gritty. Those are great words. But at Ziglar, we believe you can go one step further. You can take it a little bit higher. You can become stronger. You can be anti-fragile. What does that mean? It means that when you get attacked from all sides, when all the stresses come, when the shocks, the volatility, the noise, the mistakes, the faults, the attacks, and the failures, when they come at you, it actually makes you stronger. In other words, the things meant to harm you make you stronger. And biologically, this is the way we were created. Think about this. Our Creator gave us muscles. And if we want to make the muscles stronger, we've got to tear them down by lifting weights so they can become stronger. You know, oftentimes women who reach the age of menopause, their doctors will say, hey, you need to go lift weights so you don't get osteoporosis. And so what does that mean? It means that you've got to put stress and pressure and weight on the bones to make them stronger. Yes, we know scientifically, medically, biologically, the stronger mindset's the way we're engineered. We were created for this, but you could even go one step further. You can go deeper. You can go into the spiritual aspect. As I was thinking about all this, I realized that my dad's life verse was Romans 8:28. All things work together for good. Think about that. All things work together. You see, in the stronger mindset, we have this belief that things are going to get better. And then I looked at my own life verse, James 1, 2, and 3. And Danica, this is kind of amusing to me. I picked this life verse 43 years ago when I was 12 years old. I'd never been through a trial. I mean, my idea of a trial was going to the cafeteria at Luby's and picking what dessert I was going to eat. I mean, that was a hard day for me, choosing dessert. So what does the verse say? Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. What does that tell us? When you combine these two verses, Romans 8:28 and James 1, 2, and 3, we've got the perfect, stronger mindset. We have a hope that things are going to work out, that they're going to be better. And the things that come against us make us stronger, give us endurance. Another version of this is in the Message. And it says, I love this because this is the way I feel right now. When tests and challenges come at you from all sides, I don't know about you, but from all sides, I feel like I'm being attacked. But look under this. Under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. I love the example of a candle. You can take a little small candle and you can put it in the darkest room. And when you light it, it will illuminate that entire room. So I want you to think about this idea of being stronger. Your family, those you love, the people you work with, your friends, they are all looking to you to stand tall, stand firm in the furnace. Because when you do, you shine and you bring light to everyone else. Another verse that I love is this, John 16:33. It makes a promise in here. You will have trouble. Guess what? It's not a if you have trouble. It's a when you have trouble, and the when is now. But we've got hope again. I have overcome the world. So this is the stronger message. This is what we teach at Ziglar. And I want to look right into your eyes. I want to encourage you. And I want you to know that you are stronger. And some of you are watching this video and you don't even know me. You don't even know Danica. This video got passed along through social media some of the way. And you're like, hey, this is pretty good. Well, I want you to know, I want to give you that hope and encouragement. And I want to give you an ability to reach out. You see, some of you right now, you're in this time and you realize that it's put on your heart a sense of urgency. The time is now. The time is now to be, do, and have all that I can, to become the person I believe I was created to be. And that's what Danica does as a coach, and what in her experience, she helps people get clarity in that and create a pathway to get there. And there's some of you who your head's spinning. You're like, oh man, my whole world is upside down. And you don't even know what direction to go, but you do know that you need to pick a direction, one that fits who you are and your gifts and talents. And Danica does that as well. So Danica, how would the people watching this, how would they reach out to you so that you can help them create a strategy?
No, Tom, thank you so much. As you can see through the tears of gratitude and just all of that, I'm just humbled that you are here and sharing all this. And thank you again so much. And friends, I just want to want to just reiterate everything Tom said, and just thank you for spending time here. And, you know, it's truly my honor and pleasure to be able to help in any way I can. And you may already have my contact information, but just in case you don't, I'll give you my email address. It's unlearningu. So it's unlearning in the letter U at gmail.com. And, you know, in fact, I'd even really be happy if we could set up a time to chat and I could just help you identify some specific strategies that'll help you just become stronger during this time and in your daily life as well. And so just please just reach out and let me know how I can help in any way.
You know, Danica, I love the unlearning you. I'll tell you a story. Dad told this story all the time. This was like 35 or 40 years ago, before there was cell phones and smartphones. And gosh, I bet, no, this was like 60 years ago. He was going to speak somewhere and he got lost. And so he stopped and he asked for directions, and he was very careful. He wrote them down specifically, step by step. And then he followed the directions to a T and ended up 30 miles further away when he asked for directions. And so what I want to share with everybody is, you know what, was it his fault that it took him 30 miles away? No, it wasn't. Somebody gave him bad directions. The unlearning you concept is, so many of us were given bad directions. Well-meaning people maybe thought they were giving you good directions. They gave you bad directions, but what it's done is it's put a limit on your life. And so you need to reach out to Danica and talk to her, because she can help you find the right direction that'll unleash the potential that I know inside of you. Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you, Tom.